So oftentimes we become so consumed with what we're doing, we don't even take the time to look inward. And when you do that, it just creates problem after problem in your life. And I think one of the biggest pieces of advice that I was given was I once was working with a coach, and I do periodically. And he said, John, your life is like you're living on one big stool that has a giant support underneath it. I would encourage you to think of that stool as having 4 or 5 different supports, because you're kind of like overemphasizing your career against things like your spiritual health, your mental health, your physical health, your relationship health. And for me, it was like a light bulb went off, because regardless what you want those different pillars to be underneath you, if you're living with one that has too much emphasis, if that starts to crumble, the others aren't going to hold you up. You're just going to fall over, which is why I think, to your point, so many people, both men and women, are having these midlife crises, because I think a lot of people emphasize their careers over other aspects. And when that career starts becoming dissatisfied for them, or they realize it's not their calling, other elements come crushing down. Is that something that you've seen as well?
Well, absolutely. And it's so funny that you said that, because something called the 4 pillars of men's mental health, I assimilate it to a house. So it's like a house has 4 pillars to hold it up. And if one pillar is the only one, your house falls down, right? It struggles. And so it's just really funny that you said that, because maybe all of us know that there are pillars in our lives that we have to maintain. And what I've seen a lot with men before this stage of career is when they know they need a change, they will run to physical health, right? Every man, when he starts his journey, is always like, I got to go to the gym. It's usually just tends to be the thing. Obviously, it's a good thing to go to the gym and to take care of ourselves health-wise. But we don't want to feed into all of the stereotypes that we've been brought up to believe are important. And I really try to get around that and go to the root of why we're feeling the way we feel. Why do we feel like this is the next step? Why do we feel like we need to do this or we have to do this? Because sometimes we believe that things are important because we've been told they are, not because we actually care about them. And that's why we have these recurring goals every single year. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to start this. And then we've been trying to lose weight for like 10 years. And guess what? We never actually cared about losing weights. And that's why we never lose it, because we will always do things that are priorities for us. So sometimes it's like reanalyzing your beliefs and why do I actually want this thing? Do I actually care about this? And I find for men, also raising the bar for yourself, because a lot of times we set goals that are so mediocre that even if we got them, we'd be disappointed. So there's no desire to climb that mountain. So we need to make the mountain bigger, more desirable, so that it actually changes us. It causes us to chase something that's worthy for us.